Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for joining us. Spencer Lewis here with the second episode of Inside Track TV. It's time to take a look back on what was a wildly entertaining Victoria Day long weekend. We'll start with our main event of the weekend, the Delaware Speedway Great Canadian 200. Fantastic race. It was Andrew Gressel coming through with what just might be the biggest win of his young career. 17 cars took the green flag, and a phenomenal battle between Gressel and upstart Jonathan Erlin highlighted the end of the event. Erlin out of London, Ontario, led nearly 100 laps on his own. A last lap shootout came down to Gressel and Erlin, with eventually the Sauble Beach, Ontario native Andrew Gressel going to victory lane for the second time in 2011. Now the big question is that only 17 cars taking the green flag, down from 30 plus in recent years. Did moving the date from the Labor Day long weekend to the Victoria Day long weekend hurt the car count? We'll have to see in 2012 what Delaware Speedway decides to do with the event, which has become one of the staples of the stock car schedule in Ontario, one of the most storied races anywhere in the province. And with the Speedway looking for star power in 2011, with Steve Robley and Ron Sheridan both not in action, Andrew Gressel just might be what the doctor ordered. The young man interviews exceptionally well, carries himself properly at the racetrack, and has already gone to victory lane twice in 2011. If he can continue this hot streak, he just might be the next big thing to come out of Delaware Speedway. Next up at Sunset Speedway on Saturday night, it was Orangeville, Ontario driver Kevin Cornelius going back-to-back to victory lane with his brand new McCall Racing Enterprise chassis. Now Cornelius, after being a strong contender in recent seasons, seems destined to be a championship contender in 2011. A strong crew, strong financial backing, and an excellent chassis look to be the right combination for Cornelius to go right to the top of the Sunset Speedway Limited Late Model Division. Just down the highway in Barrie Speedway, it was Ron Quinnell continuing his hot streak of 2011, going to victory lane for the third time in 4 starts. Now with valuable NASCAR Whale and All-American Series points on the line, Quinnell capitalized big, going home with the victory in the first of 2 feature events. Later on in the night, it was Robin Youngin, who's campaigning on a partial schedule in 2011, beating out former champion Gordy the Smoke Shepherd for his win, the first of the season, in the second event of the evening. Flamborough Speedway saw Steve Laking shed his bad luck of 2010 to collect his first feature victory of 2011 after holding off longtime teammate Jason Shaw. What this holds for Laking might be a strong run heading into next week's Flamborough-Grisdale Triple Crown event, of which Laking has been a strong runner in recent seasons. Up at Sauble Speedway, they had their opener for the 2011 season. An incredible 18 cars took the green flag, with McCall Racing Enterprises Tour standout Andy Camrith going to victory lane. Defending champion Jason Parker was sidelined, suffering a DNF due to mechanical problems. Sunday saw the Oscar Super Late Model Tour kickstart their 2011 season at Sunset Speedway, and it was 3-time defending champion Glenn Watson with one of the finest runs in recent memory, strong holding the field for his first victory of the 2011 season. Glenn's 18-year-old nephew Brandon Watson, in one of his sporadic appearances on Ontario for this season, was the hardest worker for sure, coming from the back to the front twice, finishing third. Watson initially made a run down pit road early in the event to change a carburetor, then suffered a cut tire later on in the going. Sunset Speedway regular Dwayne the Bully Baker finished second in his first appearance of 2011. The vintage mods were also on schedule at Sunset on Sunday night, and it was Oakville, Ontario driver Jason Keane following up his 2010 championship season, leading all 25 laps of their A main. Also in action were the Lucas Oil TQ Can-Am Midgets, and it was London, Ontario Darren McLennan winning a sloppy, caution-filled affair, holding off a late race charge from Brampton, Ontario driver Daniel Bois. On the dirt Monday night, Brett the Jet Hearn returned to Merrittville Speedway, looking to capitalize on a 2010 victory at the Thorold Ontario Oval. Hearn led at the lap 20 mark when the rains came and postponed the event. The good news is that the event will be picked up at the second annual Bob St. Amant Memorial on Monday, August the 1st. That means that on August the 1st at Merrittville Speedway, you'll get not only the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifies, but also the Mr. Dirt Car 358 Tour as well, of better value for your money on dirt or asphalt you're not likely to find in 2011. Incredibly, Hearn stormed through the field on the outside 3 laps before the rain came, almost from outside of the top 10. Brett the Jet Hearn, no doubt one of the best in the industry. A star-studded field was there to take the green flag with Jimmy Phelps, the Dr. Danny Johnson, Super Matt Shepard, and the Plankinator Dale Plank all in attendance. The ACT Castrol Series opened up their 2011 season at Autodrome Chaudière, and it was Patrick Leperle out of Saint Denis, Quebec, opening up the 2011 season in victory lane. Leperle held off David Michaud and Marc-André Clichet for the victory. Defending champion Carl Allard finished a disappointing 12th after ignition problems. South of the border, the ACT Tour was in action at the newly repaved Devil's Bowl Speedway on Sunday evening, and it was Brian Horn ending his second victory in 3 starts of 2011 at the Spring Green 50. This will be Horn's second Spring Green 50 win, as he won in 1999 at the Airborne Speedway in Plattsburgh, New York. Having never competed at Devil's Bowl prior to Sunday's event, Horn won an exciting event, toppling John Donahue and New Hampshire driver Todd Davis for the victory. Now, Hoare has already punched his dance card to the ACT Invitational at New Hampshire International Speedway later this season, having winning the season opener at Lee USA earlier this season. Hoare also managed to top 5 at Thunder Road 2 weeks ago. Interesting enough, Hoare was actually the first driver to reach 30 wins on the ACT Tour with his victory at Devil's Bowl Speedway and carries momentum heading into the rest of the season. Elsewhere, the Pass North Super Late Model Series was rained out at White Mountain Motorsports Park and will look to reschedule their date to later in the season. For all of us here at Inside Track Motorsports News, we thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you later on this week for our preview of this week's coming action. My name is Spencer Lewis. Thanks again.